Welcome to HomeFront SitRep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront SitRep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Battlefield, same damn life. No spotlight shining on the ones who serve. Just great sacrifice and a whole lot of nerve. From small town shops to a helping hand, we're lifting each other, yeah, that's the plan. No red tape, no filter, no disguise. Just truth in the fire behind our eyes. This is HomeFront SitRep. Hear the call, where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here. This is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. From the scars we carry to the lives we rebuild. From the weight of silence to the strength of will. Non-profits grinding, boots on the street. No headlines chasing, just mission complete. Veteran alone, still chasing the dream. From a mic to a message, we're building a team. Creators and fighters, yeah, we all belong. Turn the pain into purpose, turn the hurt into song. No politics, no games, no divide. Just warriors standing side by side. This is HomeFront SitRep. Hear the call, where the real ones rise and the fallen stand tall. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here. This is HomeFront SitRep. From the shadows to the spotlight we step. Yeah, this is HomeFront SitRep. We don't forget, we don't walk away. We carry each other through every day. From combat boots to a boss to a seat. Still standing tall, still hard to defeat. Real stories, real impact, real people. This ain't just a podcast. This is a movement. This is HomeFront SitRep, loud and clear, for the ones still fighting year after year. Every voice matters, every story's legit. We're family here. This is HomeFront SitRep. Yeah, we rise, we grind, no regret. Welcome to HomeFront SitRep.
Might help if I put us on the screen. I was too busy jumping. Welcome everybody to a Monday edition of HomeFront SitRep. How is everybody doing tonight? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Tired today, man. Just ran a butt ton of errands today. Micah's car had to go in for service, so he didn't wake up this morning to make his appointment, so I had to run it over there. Oil change, tire rotation, all that goodness. And then ran back here to the house and had to make a dump run. We get a special voucher here in Northern Kentucky that, oversized product. We had a couple couches and chairs we had to get rid of, so had to run that down to Walton. And then Miles busted his glasses. It's starting to separate. The bow is starting to separate from the frame.
Okay.
So took them over there, looked at that, and they're like, yeah, we can't fix these. And I was like, ugh. So we have to order new glasses. But the good thing is, with our, my insurance, he can get one set of glasses each year. So he's had those ones for a year and a few months. So just have to go pick up his prescription and then go and get his new glasses. And then came home and made a killer, very quick chicken and dumplings, man. I tell
Nice.
you, dude, super simple. It was, I bought the rotisserie chicken from Costco, the 3-pound bag of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used some last night for the meal I made last night. Used the rest tonight, shredded it up. But dude, 4 cups of chicken broth, 4 cups in a can. So basically,
Yeah.
5 cups of chicken broth, 2 cups or 2 cans of
Cream of chicken.
Salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and just let that simmer boil. And then I took the grand biscuits and I, instead of cutting them into eighths, I flattened it out and cut it into strips.
Yeah.
Threw that in there, dude. 20 minutes and I was done with dinner.
Yeah.
April cut home. I mean, right as it was finishing, she walked in the door and she went to pick up that salt shaker. And I looked at her. She goes, I know, taste it first. I'm like, yeah, I seasoned my food. I mean, I may be white, but I seasoned my food. And I tell you, she didn't have to put any more salt or pepper or anything on it. But then, I forgot to mention yesterday, we went grocery shopping and I got something for you for the next time we travel. Dude, they make these.
I already know what it is.
Little microwavable pack of friggin' dino nugs, bro. I mean, just throw them in the microwave.
How'd I know that's what it was?
On ice. I mean, got you some Diny Nuggies. I tell you, I think everybody at SOF Missions would be very proud of me.
Yeah, they would. I didn't even see a microwave down there. But I don't even like chicken nuggets, bro. Yes, so that's what we have for Lorelai's birthday or graduation party. Was Julie went to Sam's and got the mega dino nuggets, and I mean these things were like this long, this tall. I was like, holy cow! So I was cooking them in an air fryer, and then all of a sudden my air fryer crapped out. I was like, what the heck is going on? So I thought we popped the breaker because we had the big water slide out outside, and it was on the same breaker. So I was like, went out to the breaker box, looked at it, nothing was there. Plugged in my handheld mixer right into the same outlet, and it was working. I was like, well, our air fryer just crapped out on us. Of course, we use it all the time, and but yeah, so I had to wind up cooking the chicken nuggets in the oven. So I dumped the 5-pound bags into big serving pans and cooked them that way. It took a little longer than what I wanted, and I wasn't going to throw them in the microwave. I cooking them in the microwave. It's like do 2 at a time. I was like, bro, I'm trying to feed like 50 people here. I ain't got time to stick them in the 2 at a time. But yeah, so we had a great show last night. It was just you and I. We were talking about our new merchandise. I'm wearing "To Be Someone Stranger" tonight, which is one of our shirts.
I'm slacking. I'm not. I'm wearing a emotional support husband. Do not pet.
I like it.
I got a gift from the wife. I think she did it for when we go on the cruise or we're out in public together and someone wants to grab a hold of me and be like, hey, I think it's a warning for everybody. But no, it's she bought that for me and I got a really good laugh out of it. And so
I need to have Julie buy me one. So but yeah, so we had a great show last night. Then I went to bed and got up this morning, went into work, and it's been a not rainy, but rainy day here in my part of Kentucky.
And maybe 15 minutes here at the house. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it was drizzling like here and there, and then it stopped. And but I was working with the guy that I'm training. We knocked out 7 jobs today. I got back to the shop around 3:00, and the boss was like, "Why are you back so early?" I said, "I did 7 jobs today." He goes, "Oh, I'm not going to say nothing else." So
So April came home and she's like, "Did it rain here?" I'm like, "I don't know, 10, 15 minutes maybe." Most of the day, it poured where she's at. And she works right across from Ryle High School in Union.
Okay.
So not far from where your daughter was last night. And it poured all day. I was like, no, we're good. nothing here. No
I
issues.
like it. I like it, man. I like it.
But
Yeah, so
I tell you what, Troy is over there in Europe, and he's like, "Hey, when you come over, bring this." I'm like, "Okay, not a problem." And then, like a day or two later, you also need to bring this. And I'm like, "What? Don't you not get Amazon?" But I guess if he was to order that right now, I would get there before his order would get there.
okay. Yeah,
So
because of the
yeah, so I've got to bring 2 burial flags. For what reason, I have no idea. I mean, I hope whatever. Hopefully, it's for like the American cemeteries over there needs a new flag or whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
But he wants me to bring a Marine Corps flag too, and I'm like, for what reason? I mean, the only place that unless
Wood, maybe?
Bella Wood or the dudes at the embassy want something, right?
Yeah.
But again, they can get that stuff through their supply chain. Like all they got to do is contact back to,
but if they want it for personal reasons, like a
true.
barracks room or something,
yeah, who knows?
Who knows? But
Anyway, but half my suitcase is going to be junk to take. I can't say junk stuff to take over here to
challenge coins and
Dude,
you need
a bag.
You need to bring some water back from Bella Wood from Devil Dog Fountain. You got to bring some of that back.
I need to find the old school like friggin' milk bottles that have the little cork and
the
metal.
Yeah,
I need to find some of those to take.
Dude,
back.
I got 2 of them here at the house. You can have them. One's red, one's green.
Because I'm going there, and then we're going to Normandy. I don't know if they still let you take sand from Omaha, Utah Beach, in that area. But my plan is to some sand, some water, and bring that home. I mean, I have sand from Omaha, Utah Beach that a friend gave to me years ago. I got sand from Iwo Jima that a friend gave to me. Matter of fact, I got a coin, massive 250th Marine Corps birthday coin that has sand in it from Iwo Jima. That actually Woody himself collected and brought home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I need to find something, but yeah, who knows? I've got a week in a day before I leave. So let's just see what's
Are you coming to Louisville anytime soon?
Hell no, dude. I already told you last night, I'm avoiding that area.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the construction. Mark said something about going to Twin Peaks. I'm like, no. He goes, yeah, but it's right there off the watershed. I was like, yeah, that's true. But they're still doing all that construction at the VA. So
yeah, oh yeah.
It's get off on Gene Snyder and go Shelbyville Road. It's not much different.
Yeah, the traffic around Louisville right now is, since school's out, it's not as bad. But it's cool. It's not too bad.
Yep. And then I did see a beautiful post from Elite Engraving today. Obviously I'm rocking another one of their hats. I mean, I've got 5 in here and 1 in the other room. So
yeah.
But yeah, see, I saw Warrior on a Cruise, ordered a bunch of hats from there, and super excited for both, those organizations, Elite Engraving and Warriors on a Cruise. That purple carbon fiber is just unbelievable.
It was nice. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I want to go buy me one of those hats.
You know how to get a hold of her.
I do. So tonight we got a veteran nonprofit coming on, and it's kind of your reset, but I don't know how much fishing they're going to do. We're going to ask, because I mean they're going to be traveling quite a few miles on the water, and if they ain't fishing, something's wrong.
Now, I don't know, man. But the size of the craft that they're taking and the route that they're taking, there might be some catfish that are bigger than their boat. So I don't know if they're going to be doing any of that on the way.
Well, we're gonna find out when we bring them on. So we got Oarsome Odyssey coming on, which is part of the Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation.
Illinois.
They're gonna be
no S. No
listen,
S.
Illinois.
Daggone.
So they're gonna be doing the what is known as the American or the Great Loop. covering approximately 6,000 miles over 3 summers. So it's 6,000 miles for 22. So they're raising awareness for veteran suicide. So with the 6,000 miles for 22. The mission is to raise awareness about veteran mental health, suicide prevention, and the challenges many veterans face after military service. The organization uses this journey as a the organization uses this journey as a platform to engage communities, tell veteran stories, and generate support for prevention effort. Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization based in El Dorado, Illinois. Its mission is to support veterans and veteran focused initiatives throughout Southern Illinois and beyond. According to Oarsome Odyssey's official information, Oarsome Odyssey operates as a division of the Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation. The foundation work includes veteran mental health advocacy, suicide prevention awareness, community outreach, veteran support programs, fundraising for veteran focused initiatives, and partnerships with veteran serving organizations. I think it's super cool. And the cool thing about it, what's up, Rich LaMonica? How are you, sir? And the cool thing about it is the founder, Mr. Sean Dillard, is not doing it alone. He's doing it with his high school son, and I think that's super cool. So, during the summertime when the kids are out of school,
Volunteering or voluntold?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. We'll ask Mr. Aiden here in a minute if he volunteered to do it or was he voluntold. So we're gonna find out. But I guess we're ready to bring him up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, super excited. We talked about this a little bit last night, and there was just that guy that did this, I don't know, last summer, the year before, in the John boat, right, by himself, and had a crap ton of fuel on board and made stops along the way. But I mean, these guys are paddling, so it's going to
Yeah.
be something completely different. And it's that bonding time. And they said earlier, when we talked about last night, that there's going to be an additional person in the boat. But it's still a lot, that's a lot of exertion, and just I'm excited to learn, what's this first leg look like? How far do they plan on going? Right?
Right.
Are they great? It says 6,000. They doing a third, or are they just going to go as far as they can go? Because the Mississippi is going to work with them quite a bit, right, on the
Right.
way out. But then that trek up that East Coast. I mean, even the trek across the Gulf is going to be, kind of rough. But then, of course, you're coming up the East Coast, So we'll see.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I followed a little bit about the guy that did it on the John boat, and hopefully these guys have a tracker that we can follow them along over the next 4 summers.
that would be pretty cool to have a tracker like a GPS or some sort of tracker. And I do stand corrected. Aiden says he's in middle school, not high school. So that's even cooler, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool. All right, let's bring them up. You ready, Gunny?
Absolutely.
All right, let's bring Sean and Aiden up to the screen. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Doing good. How are you?
Good.
We are doing wonderful. First off, we want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come hang out with Gunny and I for this hour. Do me a favor and introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront SitRep. We'll start with Sean, if you want to go first.
I'm Sean Dillard. I'm an Army veteran. I served in went in 2006. Stationed in Germany. Did a year in Iraq, and then came home in 2010, and then 2011 kind of skipped through life, and then been doing odd jobs and kind of things for the past almost 20 years, and then about 2 years ago. That's when everything kind of changed, and I'll talk more about that. But that's kind of who I am, and all that. And this is my son, Aiden.
Aiden, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
That's the pass the mic, brother.
Hi, I'm Aiden.
Middle school
You said you're a middle
student.
school.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
going into 7th, going into 8th?
I'm
Where
gonna
you
be going in 7th.
at? Okay, good deal.
Good deal. Good deal.
So,
All right.
I mentioned it earlier. So, are you volunteering to do this with your dad, or is dad's like, hey, you're coming along with the journey?
I'm volunteering.
All right, even cooler.
That is even cooler to be volunteering to do that. So, what made you want to volunteer to do this with your dad?
Helping veteran mental health, because too many veterans commit suicide every day.
Yeah.
And we need to lower that number.
So
Sure.
from a kid's perspective, living living with your dad, what struggles do you see from a kid's perspective that your dad deals with on a daily basis?
My dad, he's open about telling how he has tried to commit suicide a couple times before, but since we've been doing this row, ever since he's with the other team and he was able to do it, all he's been wanting to do is get back on the water, and he's been wanting to live.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Mr. Sean. So let's talk about the Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation and how it came about.
So, Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation, really simple as how it became. We needed a nonprofit, a 501c3, for us to be able to do the row. So we came up with Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation as the name. Felt like it really fit. A bunch of different organizations that we work with, kind of plays off kind of their look a little bit, but then also, off their names, and kind of, really supports that. But then, when we started doing everything and starting getting involved, and I'm just like, I'm asking myself, what more can Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation do for veterans? And so it kind of shifted a little bit more, and now we are mostly focused on community connection. What does that look like? How can we do that? So what we want to try and do as much as possible is connect veterans with other veterans. And again, I don't want to get too much into it because I want to talk about the legs of our journey and how that's going to look. But Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation, or SIVF, or SI Vets, is kind of our short phrase that we kind of using it because it's a big mouthful.
Right.
So SI Vets is, the end goal is to build a community of veterans, and not just in Southern Illinois. That's just where it's born, but all across the nation. One thing that I've learned in the last 2 years or 3 years of doing all this is that veterans who are a part of a community that have that connection are less likely to commit suicide. I know my struggles and my journey. Aiden, put it frankly, is I'm at a point in my life where I'm done wanting to check out and I want to live. And that means doing whatever it takes. And I know that what I have done and how I've gotten to this place in my life, I know that we can replicate it with other veterans. Now, what worked for me isn't going to work for everybody, but I do know that there's got to be other veterans out there that have felt the same way that I have, and that this could help them. So,
Yeah, we talk about that all the time here on HomeFront SitRep, is building that community, building that network, or your tribe. We call it your tribe as well, and that's kind of like what we did with this podcast. 3.5 years ago, that we wanted to be able to connect all of these veterans together, and that's why we look for the mom and pop grassroots nonprofits from around the country, because like Northwest Battle Buddies or Project Zero down in Texas, or Project Hope down in Florida, or Oarsome Odyssey in Illinois. They're, like Ty, he's from Texas, right? He might not have knew who you guys were or your story, but he's in here now and he's watching. He's like, oh, that's cool. And of course, Ty does a podcast called with two other veterans called Triple Threat Vets. He might reach out and say, hey, we want to have you on our show. And that's what we are. So we're that connection. We're building that community. Granted, it's an online presence, but if I got Ty reach out to me and say, hey man, do you got anybody in Montana that takes veterans out fishing? Gunny and I can say, oh yeah, we got Montana Warriors on the Water. Or, I can say, well, there is here in Kentucky, we have Project Healing Waters, We have what's that new one that just started in Shepherdsville, Gunny? We just had him on the show not too long ago. Can't remember at the top. But there's, we got one right here, 20 minutes, a chapter right 20 minutes down the road from me. So that's kind of what we do. What was that?
The paddle fishing.
Oh, Heroes on the Water is what it's called. Heroes on the Water. So we, that's what we do. And that's kind of what you're doing with SI Vets is you're building that community because we know as veterans that if we get around other like-minded veterans and could serve in different eras, you could have a Vietnam vet, a GWAT vet, any kind of vet. We're going to build that bond just for the simple fact that we signed our name on that dotted line. And it's just one of those things that you have to do. Because if not, you're going to go down those rabbit holes that all veterans go down, whether it's with alcohol or drugs or whatever. And unfortunately, too many veterans, they say 22, and I'm going to throw that in quotation marks, 22. But I seen the stats the other day. It was anywhere between 45 to 55 veterans a day. So, you got to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. So, and I think that's kind of what you're trying to do is you're trying to, I think you're trying to walk the walk. So let's talk about your legs because you're doing it over 3 summers. I'm assuming Aiden's going to go with you all 3 summers. So let's talk about the first leg. When do you start? Where are you starting from? And go from there.
Yeah, so we looked at the map last night during the show, and I'm like, man, it's smart to start in Chicago, right? And then come down the river, down the Mississippi through the Gulf. I was like, you don't want to start in Florida and work your way up. Or maybe you do, but I mean, you guys are close there in Illinois, so I figured you want to start close to home.
So the plan is we haven't set up yet exactly where we're going to start because we are out of Southern Illinois, of course, Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation.
Right.
But we're literally 20 miles from the Ohio River. And so, we've been kind of thinking, that'd be a perfect place to start. We could have a nice launch party. People can come out, that are from hometown.
Yeah.
And we can launch right there and go from the Ohio River down into the Tennessee River and then out to the Gulf. Another thing that we've been playing with is starting in Chicago and then just kind of, using our first leg to really push Illinois and going down the Mississippi River. And we'd still be going through Southern Illinois. So I also thought that might be a good starting point as well, because we would really be hitting Southern Illinois, in our very first venture and really getting the community to go. So nothing's set in stone. So those are kind of the ideas. I do like the idea of when we end it, regardless if we start in Chicago or not, what I would like to do is go from when we finish it to go past Chicago and then back and end there in our hometown and just make that our ending point, regardless of where we may start.
Yeah,
so
that'd be super cool.
Heck yeah, have a final chapter party right there in the hometown or close to it.
I think so. And then the other plan of it is, and like you were saying before, is the legs. Now 3 years is kind of our goal, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen in 3 years. It might happen in 4 years. Heck, it could happen in 2 years. Who knows? The power we might get behind the oars. But this isn't a race to us. This is about connection. This is about community. So the whole idea is going to be stopping at different places, talking, meeting, making those connections. But the added benefit too, in what the next community kind of project, or really what I want to aim to do, because like listening to your podcast last night, I'll tell you this, it hit home, because you had said something about how everybody kind of uses the moniker, in veteran suicide, but what are you really doing? And, just rowing down a river or rowing down an ocean or rowing across an ocean and you put in veteran suicide doesn't really necessarily mean how are you adding to it? How are you or subtracting from it, I should say. So it got me thinking, what is our how? How are we doing it? And what we are going to be doing is we are going to be setting it up to where veterans will come and row for a week at a time throughout the journey
Oh, that'd be cool.
and have it just lined up, and we can do 1 to 2 veterans. Because right now it's just going to be me and Aiden that are going to be the primary that are going to be doing this row. And so we would get a veteran, they would fly out or drive in, depending on where they're from, and then come and they'll get on the boat and they'll row with us for a week. And then we'll swap out with a different veteran or another 2 veterans, and then do the same thing. And I think that right there is going to do 2 things. One, it's going to give veterans an experience that they may never have had before. Being on these ocean rowboats is so surreal. When I was training on one down in Florida, and I just remember just being out there one night, we dropped the oars, everyone stopped talking, phones were shut off, and it was just in that moment that you just felt at peace. I mean, the sun was just coming down, and it was such a clarity. So I really feel that getting veterans on these boats, might be a doorway for them to figure something else. I mean, it's amazing what it's done for me and the passion that I've gotten from this. So yeah, and then the plan will be we'll row until we hit a certain time, because we're going to do it for about 2.5 months during the summer, especially since Aiden's going to be out. We want to do it while he's out of school, because we don't really want him to have to struggle with or tackle homeschooling while we're doing this, if we don't have to. But and then here's the other thing is we might have to do some of it, because depending on weather and everything else, we might have to do it during the winter months sometimes. Like, especially if we're going through the Florida section of it, it might be better to do it in the winter months.
Too humid.
Yeah, exactly. So we still have a lot of planning to do. We still have a lot more stuff that's going to be going into this. So that's kind of the general idea. But
when is the first leg supposed to start?
June of next year.
June of next year. Okay.
Yep. And so the cool thing is going to be, once we get this program, we're going to have veterans that can they'll submit on our website that we haven't built yet, that they say, hey, we want to do it. When I did the podcast with Adam, he had said something about wanting to do it, and that kind of sparked, the whole idea behind all of this. But they would, veterans would come in, and we would do like a 2-week course, having them out on the boat, like on the lake, and kind of work on the fundamentals to learn, the ins and outs of the boat and stuff like that. So they're not just going to be coming on and getting on a boat and going. They're going to learn how to do everything.
Yeah.
With all the other veterans that are going to be doing this. And the whole plan too is we're going to be bringing in experienced ocean rowers. They'll come in and help teach and help, go over different things. And I think that right there, that aspect of it is going to be a tremendous impact on the veterans. So I'm super excited of being able to do that with my fellow veterans.
Yeah, ocean rowing in the ocean is way different than rowing on a lake or rowing on a river or something of that nature. Because you get when you're in the ocean, you're dealing with the the waves and stuff like that, depending on the tide. And what are you doing, Gunny?
My bad. I went to hit the mute and I hit the remove. Not paying attention.
I was like,
Echo's going freaking crazy in the other room, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with her, and I hit mute, and then when I came back in, my mouse moved down to remove instead of on the microphone. So that's my bad. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Everything up here today.
It's all right. I messed it up at the beginning anyway, because I didn't even add us back in. But So what does the ocean rowboat look like? Because I know there's several different styles out there. Which kind of boat are you guys using?
So we are using what is called a Rannoch R45.
It's actually in the driveway right now.
It's in the driveway right now. We literally just picked it up from California.
Nice.
The boat itself is about 30 feet long and it's about 6 feet wide.
Wow.
You said R45?
Yes, R45. Rannoch, Rannoch.
Yeah. So it is this one here. Share screen. Share the screen. Let's see. There we go. Add the stage. So kind of like this one right here.
Exactly like that one right there.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot bigger than what I was thinking last night when we were talking about this.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Ah,
It'd have been funny if it's the same one he pulled up.
All right.
Well, there's several of them there.
And you very well could have. The boat that we have, her name is Emma. She has actually crossed the ocean 5 times.
5 times.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been across the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean.
wow.
Okay.
So the little origin story, because I know a lot of people are probably going to ask, how'd you get involved with all this to begin with? So it's a good segue into the boat. So about 2.5 years ago, I was an over-the-road truck driver, and I I started my own company called Shirts for Vets. The whole idea behind Shirts for Vets was I was going to design shirts, and then I was going to sell them, and then I was just going to donate the money away. I really didn't care about it. I just designing some stuff and like that was just kind of really getting me out of my own head back at then, because I really struggled. And this is when the peak of my struggle, because I really wanted to just pull that wheel off the road so many times. It was pretty sad. So anyway, after I started my company, I hadn't even made a website yet. And I just kind of started playing with the idea, and I started putting stuff out there saying, hey, I'm starting Shirts for Vets. Does anybody think this is a cool idea? Blah, blah. Well, a fella from Range Wars Row, Mike Kendall, he sent me a message and he said, hey, can you donate 100 shirts to us? And he told me about this epic ocean row that they were going to be doing. They were going to be rowing from California to Hawaii in that boat that we just seen. And I told him, no, I can't do that. I'm just starting out. But I'm like, hey, what I can do is I can create a merch store for you. So Shirts for Vets turned from that to creating merch stores for nonprofits. And so after that, I started working with them. I was on their meeting calls every week. Long story short, one of their rowers fell out, and they said, hey, jokingly asked me if I wanted to do it. And I told them, hell no at first. So
there's sharks in them there waters.
So then fast forward about a week later, I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm 40 years old. I'm from Illinois. I'm like, when will I ever have an opportunity to do something like this again?
Yeah.
It blew my mind what they were doing. And then it just blew my mind even more that, yeah, they were kind of joking when they asked me, but the fact that they did ask me was just like, amazing. And so, I ended up joining them, and I was supposed to row across the ocean last June. But when we were down in Key West, Florida training, I got injured. I ended up having to have surgery. And so I couldn't do the row. And I'll tell you this right now, when that happened, I started spiraling. I felt like I let everybody down. I felt like I let myself down. I let the team down. I really felt like I was a loser, and it got bad. I was drinking real bad. And, fast forward a few months, met a lot of great people, met a lot of bad people, and it just kind of really shaped everything. And then just one day, I just finally was like, you know what? I didn't feel like ending it, and I just the only thing that I could think of was I want to get back out on that water. That was my go-to thought. It wasn't to end it. It was get out on that water. And so after that, SIVF was formed. I talked with my old rowmates with range oars, and then another rowing group, Corsair Racing. They're out of Tennessee, and I've been talking with them, and like they let me borrow their boat for some fundraising, and all that, and it's been really awesome. And then that's how Aiden got involved with it. So we brought the boat down, did some fundraising with it. And while we were doing it, everybody kept asking Aiden, "Hey, are you doing the row with your dad?" And he's like, "No, but I wish I could."
Right.
And so, more we thought about it, and we're like, you know what, why not? By the time we go to do the row, so originally our plan was we were going to do an ocean row. The Great Loop was never part of this plan. So after talking with a lot of different people in the ocean rowing community, and especially Paul Laurie, he's a Marine veteran who kind of gave us the idea saying, hey, you know what? An ocean row is really dangerous, and Aiden really needs a lot more time before we attempt something that massive. He's like, why don't you do something like the Great Loop? And that was the first time I heard of it. This was literally 2 weeks ago.
Oh man. Okay.
So I start looking it up, and I'm like, I'm looking it up, and I'm like, I'm loving it. I'm loving it because the Great Loop is going to be a bigger opportunity for us to make connections
and make a bigger impact. Yeah,
exactly. And that's where doing an ocean row is an epic thing. It is so cool. I mean, all the people that I've met that have completed it, awesome people, beautiful people. But, and it goes back to, the saying, how are we ending veteran suicide? And rowing across an ocean isn't just doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what we're doing here is going to have a bigger impact. I really do. Because we're going to meet so many people, and we'll be able to get that connections out there.
Well, I think
just opening that dialogue, right? And
exactly,
it's conversations people don't want to have, but when you have someone like yourself is in doing what you're going to do, that dialogue's already open, right? It's already there because they already know why you're doing what you're doing. So it may bring people out in those communities, and I don't know if you have planned stops or if you're just going to go into like, okay, this is where we're going to bed in for the night. But if you have planned stops, you can get a hold of the VFWs, the AMVETs, the American Legions, and say, hey, we're going to be stopping in your town on this day. And, then you could have like a little town hall at the Legion about what you guys are doing and dinner and all this other stuff and open that dialect, right?
That's exactly the plan. The plan is going to be already having, those connections are pre-made to have those meetings and different things like that. Maybe like having a big cookout around what we're doing, that day, and just making it fun. Another thing that I thought would be really cool and what I really picture happening is during this adventure, you ever, you watch like Forrest Gump when he was running across the U.S. and, he had people that joined in, was running with him.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool. We're coming along with our ocean rowboat, and then people are just getting in kayaks and just doing little legs of it with us.
Yeah, that would be cool. So I was thinking, you're doing this journey, right? And you're gonna have news media that's gonna cover it. Because for one, it's a great story just for the simple fact that you and your son are doing this, right? You're doing this together. You're bonding, and that's something that a lot of veterans sometimes struggle with is bonding with their children.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that sometimes we feel like we're alone, even though we're not alone, because we don't think anybody understands what we go through.
Well, and we don't want to put the burden on the kids either.
Right.
Right? And
And,
I
and
think that's the biggest part of it is I didn't include my kids in a lot of things because I didn't want my burden to become their burden. And then when they attended Barrett Jackson, and they heard, my life events being talked about, it was Micah. Micah came back. He's like, "Dad, have a seat. Sit down. We need to talk." I think he was like 7 or 8. I'm like, "What 7 or 8-year-old talks like that? Dad, have a seat. We need to have a discussion. We need to talk." Right? And it's like, "Oh God, what did I do?" And it opened up that dialogue between him and I. And now, he's 19 and getting ready to graduate college, and he's going to be out of the house soon, maybe. And it's like, man, I need to spend more time with him. I didn't spend that time with him that I wanted to spend. And now Aiden's going to be stuck in the boat, right? He can't go anywhere. So, but having that moment to bond and connect on that type of level, I think every parent should have with their kids, period, whether you experience trauma or not.
Yeah. So what you could do is, like, when you're doing your journey and you got your planned stops, you can, before you leave, you can reach out to the local media in that area and say, "Hey, this is the story," and come up with a good press release. The press release is going to be key to help get the message out there, because if they start talking about it, say you're a week out from landing, let's say your stop is in Newport Richey, Florida, right? You say, "All right, we're going to be in Newport Richey on this day. Let's reach out to media and let them start talking about it a week ahead of time." And all right, so you're going to land on Newport Richey Beach, and you're going to have a meeting right there, a cookout right there on the beach, right? And you get all these veterans from that area come to Newport Richey. The news is there covering it, and then that'll go national. That news will go national, because it's I hate to say it, but it's a feel good story, because here you are, Army veteran, dealing with PTSD and everything else that you're dealing with, and you're on a 6,000-mile trip with your son. The news is going to eat that up.
Yeah.
So,
and wanting other veterans to join in.
Yeah.
Right. And we kind of skipped over some of that, but you talked about, and we talk about all the time, giving that veteran something to look forward to, right? Give them a sense of purpose, give them a new direction.
Yeah.
And we lose that a lot when we leave the service, right? Because we already know what our mission is from day one, right? No matter if you're motor T or infantry or mechanic or whatever, what your end state is for that 4 years or 30 years, or whatever you plan on staying, right? And it doesn't change even with your rank, right? It does, because you got to train, lead, mentor, whatever. I get that. But your end state's still the same. And then you leave and you don't have that mission anymore. It's gone. That sense of purpose is gone. That sense of direction is gone. Your identity is taken away from you, right? Whether you leave or you get forced out, that identity of being a service member is no longer there. And just trying to find that new identity, new sense of purpose, new direction. And now you are sitting here going to take off and go on the river and be like, we're going to stop in Biloxi, Mississippi, and we're going to pick up this dude. He's going to go with us all the way to, Mobile, Alabama, or he's going to go with us to Pensacola. And then he's going to get out and we're going to pick up this other dude. We're going to pick up an Al Hero in Pensacola, and he's going to go with us to, Tampa, whatever it may be. But, giving those guys and gals something to look forward to. Instead of sitting on their couch playing PlayStation and Xbox and Fortnite and all the other stuff.
Yeah. So are you planning on doing like a video log of the journey, or are you going to be doing lives so people can keep track of you as you're progressing in your journey?
So we plan to do all of that. As much as what we can. And that's the other wonderful thing about doing the Great Loop is, since we'll be in stateside, we'll have internet coverage, and we'll be able to do more lives versus doing an ocean crossing where, we won't be able to do lives, and we'll have to upload videos via Starlink, and it'll be, the coverage of it will be immensely better.
Yeah.
And then, yes, and like you had mentioned earlier too, about a tracker. So there's an app called YB Races, and it's an app that most boating races, events, and all that use it, and you can track. They're actually getting ready to do the Pacific Crossing launch tomorrow morning, or actually tonight,
Well,
like 1 a.m.
yeah, 1 a.m. So technically tomorrow.
Yeah, so you would get on YB Races, and you can actually track all of the boats all the way through to the end. So we'll do the same thing. We'll get YB Races. Everybody can get on there, and then you'll be able to follow and track the dot all the way through.
That's cool.
Heck
That's
yeah.
so
And,
cool.
and that'll help the news out too, to anticipate when you're going to be arriving, or
Yeah.
the allegiance, if you have DFW, the people of the town, so they're not standing out there all day. Be like, oh, I don't know when they're going to get here, but have it on
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, they're only an hour out. We need
Yeah.
to
They said
start
they'd be
something.
here at noon. They said they'd
Yeah.
be here at noon, and it's already 2:00. And that's when you say, yeah, it's hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Well, what's cool too is we have one of our sponsors, which is Cotner Title, a local title place in town, and they have this big TV in their waiting room that they don't really do anything with, and so they want to have the tracker on that
Oh,
TV.
heck
And
yeah.
so when people come in, they'll be able to do that. And I've been, playing with the idea of having like a Twitch live stream maybe set up that, we'll have the tracker and then maybe like some information, on the side, just kind of
Heck yeah.
scrolling. I think a big thing about this, and I'm gonna put it out there, if anybody wants to join the team to help like with social media, with helping with organization and all that stuff, we're open to any and all help that we can get with it. But that's the whole idea. We want a whole team of people helping with this adventure. The one thing that we're going to be doing too is we're going to have like a support van that's going to follow us throughout the journey. Maybe have provisions, extra food, stuff like that, or they can early coordinate with the different stops that we're going to.
Yeah.
Start getting them set up. Another thing that we're going to have to fight in battle is, as much as we want to plan stops, there's unforeseen things that could happen.
Yeah.
That could either delay or even stop our journey, halfway through. But we still need to have those events. So having somebody leading out and still have those events, regardless if we're there or not, and then people can see us as we come through, at another date. So that'll be something that we'll have to play with. But,
Yeah.
What I've been trying to say in all my videos, every video that I did to California and back, is that it takes a community to row the Great Loop.
Yeah. And it definitely will. And I think it's super cool that you and your kiddo's going to do that, and you're going to bring in other veterans, and just getting the mission out there. Now, granted, I know what I said on the podcast last night about walking the walk and not just talking the talk, right? There has been billions spent on veteran suicide awareness, and that number just keeps growing, unfortunately. So not a lot of people are walking the walk. They're doing the talk, but they're not walking the walk. And I think this is something different that people probably haven't seen, and you're doing it with your son, and I think that's going to definitely bring awareness. But when you bring in your other veterans that want to go on this journey with you, to have that sense of purpose, have that sense of camaraderie, because when you have another veteran on that boat and you're on that boat for a week and a half before you stop, that's going to build a bond that's going to last for the rest of your life.
Well, even if it's shorter than that, right? If it's something like, hey, listen, I can only do 2 days of this, right? Yeah. You're on the boat. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Conversations are going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh. And that piece right there, just having that conversation with another veteran. And, we talked about it quite a bit on the show that, I had the Vietnam veteran on the boat with me fishing on Lake Erie. I ain't said nothing in 52 years. I'm not saying nothing now. An
It's
hour in,
Donna
I
Bob.
couldn't. An hour in, I couldn't get him to shut up, which is fine. I didn't mind, but now he has that dialect with anybody and everybody, to include his wife, who had never known anything about what he did during Vietnam, and now she knows pretty much everything he wanted her to know. Right?
Right.
You know, no
So
girlfriend Vietnam, but you know, some of the other stuff she probably
right,
knows about, right? Because he's had that conversation now with her. And you know,
right.
I love Silent Bob to death. And like I said, he carries that conversation on with anybody that'll listen now.
Yeah. So Aiden, we ain't really talked to you a whole lot about this journey.
Mhm.
So what do you think is going to be your favorite part of doing this trip with your dad?
Um, Probably getting to stop at like other towns and meeting them and making connections.
Okay, okay. So not hanging out with your dad, just seeing the country, seeing the world.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think
I've been stuck in the car with him for about a week now.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
But I think has it helped you build your bond with your dad already that here you are volunteering to go on this journey with him?
Yeah.
Heck
Or
yeah.
are you like my kids and it's all about the snacks and sleep
No.
on the road trip?
That's what my kids are. My 19-year-old is still that way. Like dad.
My 15, 19-year-old and my wife.
Yeah.
Snacks and sleep. That's it. That's all it's all
See,
about.
when we was on heading the way back, we was in Missouri. We went stopped at a gas station. I got a Slurpee, and there was a hole in the bottom of it. I didn't realize. We get in the car, and there's Slurpee all over my shorts.
Oh man. That's
That
the
makes
worst.
for a long
And then
ride.
I just got over it. I just went to bed for the night, and then we got home back like 1:30 in the morning. So
Oh man.
So it is
Oh,
about the snacks and the sleep.
it is about the snacks and the sleep. Yep.
yeah.
yeah. No, my wife, she wanted to go with us to go and pick up the boat, and I told her no, only because I knew she wouldn't help me drive, and I didn't want to have to pay for all of her food if she wasn't going to help me drive. So,
Yep.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. All right. So I threw the website back out here. It's OarsomeOdyssey.org. I'm sure once you have a website up for the Southern Illinois Veterans Foundation, uh, you'll throw that link on that website as well. Man, I'm excited to follow your journey along with this, and I'm hoping that wherever you launch, because we're close. I mean, depending on where you launch in Southern Illinois, Ohio River wise, because Kentucky and Illinois, don't they touch somewhere down
Yeah.
down that way
Yeah,
somewhere?
Yeah.
Mhm.
for
Um,
sure.
so right where I think it's right where the Mississippi and Ohio meet.
Way before that.
Is it before? So yeah, hopefully you're close. Within two to 3 hours, if you decide to launch close, close by, me and Gunny might be able to make it up there. Depends on where you start at. So, yeah, I'd love to follow your journey and see how yours and Aiden's bond grows over the next 3 summers.
Aiden might throw dad off the boat at hour
He
2.
might.
I just don't know.
He might.
Maybe.
So
All right, Sean,
we're-
before we go and let you guys go back, if people want to get involved, if people want to sponsor, if people want to donate, is the website OarsomeOdyssey.org the best place to go to do so?
yes. Yeah, all my contact information on there, my phone number, our address for mailing and checks. You got the opportunity to donate on there. We also have a raffle on there for a pistol. We've got a virtual 5K on there. Another awesome thing that we have on there too is you can sponsor a mile of the journey. So you can actually go on there. It's $22. You pick whatever mile marker that you want to sponsor it. You want to dedicate it to somebody, you can dedicate it. and it goes on the wall of miles. But we got 6,000 miles up for grabs. So yeah,
A lot of miles.
I like that. Aiden's lots of miles.
He just looks down. He's like, it's a lot of miles.
A lot of miles. So Aiden, let me ask you this: are you planning on doing all 6,000 miles with your dad?
Yeah.
That's the plan. That's awesome.
as long as he
That's
doesn't
cool.
meet a girlfriend.
Yeah, you.
You know what? At your age, Aiden, there'll be other girls. Just spend time
Yeah.
with your dad.
There's plenty of fish in the sea, Aiden. You never know. You might find you a
You've got
mermaid.
one dad. Just
Yeah.
as other girls. Spend time with dad.
All right, Sean, Mr. Aiden, we want to say thank you again for coming on and hanging out with Gunny and I. We're gonna throw your email, Sean, to other veteran podcasters. Hopefully, we can get you on their show and get the mission out there even further. Yeah, we want to say thank you for coming on, hanging out with us, and telling us your story.
So thanks for inviting us.
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. You guys have a great night. If you want to hang out, we can chit chat afterwards. We'll throw you in the
Okay.
green room while Gunny and I wrap it up here.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys got stuff to do, feel free to just sign off and do your thing. Aiden can go and finish his
Play
dinner.
Fortnite.
I already finished my dinner.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
How cool was that?
Super awesome, man. When we talked about it last night, it's just one of those things that just looking at that loop, right? That 6,000 miles.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend the 1,100 miles from here to my brother's house in the car with my kids and my wife.
Right.
And he wants to do 6,000 miles. Dude, but it's awesome, wanting to include other veterans and, no matter how long they are on the boat for, like I said, that's going to open that conversation. And,
Yeah.
that dude or the dudette that's in the boat with him, man, rowing might not be it, but they might find their new purpose, their new sense of direction on that water. Right.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it numerous times, just being on the water itself. You don't even have to throw a line in there. Just being on the water.
Do.
Well, yeah, you do. But you could also just sit there and have a conversation too.
For sure.
So,
I can have a conversation with a line in the water. I've had fish bite an empty hook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I think it's super cool. My dad was an over the road truck driver when I was younger. And during the summers, I would go in the truck with him and go on, these trips around the country, went to Hershey, Pennsylvania and Florida and Georgia, Alabama. And I thought that was super cool, because I didn't get to see my dad very often. Because my mom and dad divorced, and my dad, back then I called him a summertime dad. Sometimes he was here, sometimes he wasn't here. But when I did get to go, on these trips with him, while he was working, it was cool to build that bonding moments with him. And I think this kind of what this boat journey, will be for Aiden and Sean. And I think it's super cool. And then I like the fact that if you want to go dedicate a mile to a fallen brother or sister, several names, as soon as he said that, popped up in my head. And I seen your wheels turning too. I was like, oh, that's super cool. I mean, that's 6,000 miles. That's 6,000 names.
Yeah.
That will be spoken for how long? Probably eternally.
Yeah.
If you don't want their memory to be lost, and we talk about this numerous times, if you don't want their memory lost, say their name. And here you have an option to go to dedicate a mile of this journey, which is, I don't know if it's ever been done by a father-son duo. They could be making history. That's something Sean probably needs to look up. Is this the first time the Great Loop has ever been done by a father-son? Who knows? It could be. So they could be making history. And that's something that, if it is, the first time the Great Loop's ever been done by, especially a middle schooler. I mean, I could see maybe a high school older kid, college, high school, college, doing it with a dad, but a middle schooler, that's super cool. Because Lorelai, my youngest, who just graduated from high school, whenever I volunteered at all these veteran things that I've done, she was always my sidekick. she always went with me. Operation Victory, or going down and uh, giving food to homeless veterans and stuff. Socks and jackets and stuff. She was my sidekick. She always went with me. And I think
Dude,
it's
that's
super
how Micah got his volunteer hours for graduation.
right.
Is asking to come with me.
Yeah.
Whether I was the VP or not, it wasn't me dragging my kid to get these hours for him. He
Right.
asked to come
Right.
and volunteer and be part. And dude, he got to meet some great people, and that he still
Yeah.
stays in contact with today.
Yeah.
So it's just it's cool that the kids want to be involved for sure, especially in the veteran,
Yeah.
parent
And
life.
yeah. I mean, Lorelai, she's going to Lindsey Wilson. She got the Bonner Scholarship, which is a community service scholarship, which pays for a buttload of her college. And it wasn't me dragging her, like you said. I didn't drag her. She's like, Dad, I want to go with you. I want to go with you. And when she got older, and I kind of stepped away from volunteering as much, she started doing Dare to Care every Saturday. She would go up to Dare to Care, and she was there for 4 to 8 hours. On her own or with her mom. Her mom would go with her. Julie would go with her, and I just think it's super cool because here Aiden is a middle schooler, and he's volunteering to do this with his dad. Well, that just puts in his mindset, hey, I need to volunteer as I grow older. That right there is that servant leadership that we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's super cool that that's what he's doing. So, I think it's super cool. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, Gunny, are you ready?
Sure. Are you ready? I got your dining rooms.
Ooh. Where's that eagle sound?
Yeah, caw-caw.
No, that's not it.
Oh, that's
here we go.
That's a turd bird.
Gunny's Words of Wisdom.
Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
Say that again for the people in the back.
Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear.
Ooh, I like that. I like that because a lot of people, fear holds them back.
And it especially in the nonprofit realm, right? A lot of people are scared of that no.
Yes.
And, you might get 50 no's for sponsors. But there might be that one that says,
Just
what?
that
We're
one.
gonna sponsor your whole journey. What would that look like?
And I could say the same thing about doing this podcast.
Yeah, the fear of rejection, man.
The fear of rejection.
A lot of people's biggest fear. Whether it's the girl you like that you're afraid to go ask her, or that job you're afraid to go after. There's some sort of fear that holds you back.
Yeah, I like it. Just don't. So, what Gunny is saying there is, don't let the fear hold you back. I mean, that's.
Even recruiting duty, man. That's most every recruiter's biggest fear, is that applicant saying, nope, not interested.
Yeah.
Drive on, find another one.
Mm.
And if you don't, whatever. For me, it wasn't about the numbers. For me, it was about the quality of the person that I was putting in the Marine Corps, not the quantity. I could give a shit less about the quantity.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, here we go.
It's time for the joke of the day.
How do Marines solve problems?
How do
Marines solve problems?
How do Marines solve problems?
With determination, teamwork, and a little more volume.
And some crayons.
There is a joke here. It says, what is a Marine's favorite color? And it's
Pink.
whatever color crown tastes the best. Aiden said crowns in comments there. I like it. I like it. All right, Gunny. It is that time of night. Here we go.
Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Don't let the dark days win. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down. and you do not, absolutely do not have to become a product of your environment.
Amen. You definitely don't, because I will tell you, I have broke generational curses on my end. You don't have to be a product of your raising. My mom was a single mom, 4 kids,
Same.
abusive relationships throughout my adolescence, and it didn't stop until I was about 15 years old. And I can tell you right now, when my daughters were young, they got a little spanking on the butt with the hand, and that was it. Never touched them with a belt, never beat them with a tobacco stick, or coat hanger, whatever was readily accessible. So we broke that generational curse, and also, like I said earlier, my dad was never here. Well, my kids know that I'm here for them. So you're not a product of where you come from. So I like it. All right. In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You are not alone. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal, together we rise, and together we carry each other forward. And the key word there is together. We have to do this together. And that's like Sean's journey here. Do it together. He's doing it with his son. He's building that bond. He's wanting to bring other veterans along that journey with him to do it together. That's why we carry each other forward.
Absolutely.
Hashtag be someone stranger. I'm wearing that shirt right now. Listen, we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So be someone stranger today. And what I mean by that is when you're out and about and you see somebody that looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them, say, "Hey, how you doing?" And if they give you the red flags, "I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living the dream," ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation, because it could be a 5-minute conversation. It could be an 8-hour conversation. You have to be ready for that. And just listen. Don't try to fix them, because sometimes Gunny just needs to get off what's going on in his brainscape up there. He just needs to get it out. So just listen. Don't try to fix.
Yeah, and it takes a village. Use your network of people. We all have friends on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and X and everywhere else. But we also carry these with us everywhere we go every single day, and we all have contacts in there. Open up that contact list, blindly scroll through and hit a name. Call them. "Hey, man, I just need to talk. You got a minute?" Or maybe just, "Hey, how are you doing today? I'm just calling to check on you, let you know I care." Who knows? Your voice might save their life.
Amen. Amen. I just talked to a buddy of mine the other day. I hadn't talked to him in about 6 months, and he's been struggling. And I was like, "Bro, my phone's always open." He goes, "I know, but you're always so busy." I'm like, "Dude, my phone's always open for you." And he's one of my closest friends since 7th grade. And I knew, I helped him through his uh, addiction to drugs that he was on. I helped him through that. He doesn't do that anymore. He slowed down on his drinking. He was a very heavy drinker. He slowed down on that, and he's held his job. He's been in his company for 20 plus years, and he's doing really well. But he still struggles. We all struggle. Don't have that male macho bravado where you can't ask for help. It takes a village. It takes a village. So
Yep.
reach out to somebody. All right. Up next, we're going to talk about our community partners. These are not sponsors. They're just community partners. First up is SOF.
Yeah, you got me during mid burp. SOFmissions.org out of Tampa. Great organization doing amazing things for servicemen and women and also first responders. They have clinics throughout the year, 5-day clinics where they take you down there, and every single bit of that clinic is catered towards you, individually towards you. And then after the clinic, it's 365 days of aftercare if you choose to do so. It is not obligatory, but if you want to continue your care, they do it. They do a 30, 60, 90-day follow-up. They send you your supplements when you need it. They help you get, man, your mental care, your physical care. They'll help you with your VA stuff. If you're on the veteran side, if you are a first responder and you want to go down there, under branch of service, at the very bottom, you click on the tab, the drop tab. After the military, you'll see fire, police, EMS. So don't be alarmed when you don't see it on that main page under branch of service, under the military. It's right there at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Willis and I had a firefighter in our class. But yeah, it's an amazing thing that these guys and gals are doing down there at SOF Missions. I highly encourage you to go and check them out. They are a tier 1 nonprofit for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not very many nonprofits that, do a follow-up, let alone follow up for a year.
And you know what's cool, Gunny, is you're talking about that. I just had an email from Coach Bob today. He's been looking for a PGA pro local to here to where I'm at, to teach me private golf lessons. SOF Missions is paying for that. So I'm going to go to a PGA pro here locally, and they're going to pay for my private lessons. And then they're going to help me get with PGA Hope, which is another nonprofit that does veterans in golf. So I think it's super cool. So SOF Mission upcoming clinics that they have available. August might be full. I don't know. But they got August 6th through the 10th. Then they have September 17th through the 21st. Then their October clinic, the 15th through the 19th, is their all-female clinic. And then they'll wrap up November 5th through the 9th. That's the last one for this year. So go check out sofmissions.org, fill out your application, and there's a spot in there where you can say where you heard about them. You can put in their HomeFront SitRep podcast, and that will help you get to the front of the line. I'm not going to say you're going to jump the line, but it's going to help you get to the front of the line. So put in there that you heard about them from HomeFront SitRep.
And if you're local down there in the Tampa area, they have a gala coming up.
Yes.
Fundraiser to support their mission.
Yep. When is the gala? Let's see. Go back. Up next is heroesmediagroup.com. You kind of heard us talk about it just a minute ago. Adam Bird is the founder of Heroes Media Group. HomeFront SitRep's been a proud family member for about 3 years now. And anytime I need anything, I can just reach out to Adam and say, hey, I need help with this, or I need help with that. I need press credentials to go to a NASCAR race and cover the NASCAR race. Rich LaMonica with the Misfit Nation, he was in here earlier, just was in Nashville at the NASCAR race in Nashville. If I need a press pass for the Marine Corps Marathon, I can get a press pass. All I got to do is call Adam and say, hey, man, me and Gunny need a press pass for this. And he will help take care of us and get that done for us. But once we are there, we're HomeFront SitRep. We're not Heroes Media Group. We're HomeFront SitRep. Yep. So check out heroesmediagroup.com. The platform Adam has there with all these veteran podcasters. There's something for everybody there. So go check out heroesmediagroup.com. Up next is Reese Across America Radio. Gunny and I have been, HomeFront SitRep has been on Reese Across America Radio now for about 2.5 years. We're on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. Jeff Pierce and his team are top notch.
Yeah.
If you go to reacheacrossamerica.org/radio, go listen. There's all kinds of great veteran podcasters on there. The live segments that they do are phenomenal. There's just so many things that you can do on or listen to on reacheacrossamerica.org/radio, or you can download the TuneIn app, our iHeartRadio app, or Audacity app, and search the word Reese, and you can find them there. Up next, you want this one? You want me to take it? All right. Same flag, same oath.com. This is part of Got Your Six culture, with Matt and Becky Johnson outside of Katy, Texas. They are phenomenal. They created the HomeFront SitRep shirts for us, and we have six on our website. 6 on our website at the present moment in time. They are phenomenal. They love working with nonprofits, and it's you as a nonprofit, they create you a Shopify account, and that's where your shirts come from. So go check out sameflagsameoath.com and reach out to Matt and Becky, and they'll take care of you.
Yeah, Elite Engraving 24, a small veteran-owned company here in Kentucky, husband and wife veteran team, doing amazing things. They did our hats for the HomeFront SitRep. They do koozies. It's all leather work, leather patches that are laser engraved. They did the Team Fast Track hat. I think I have 6 hats from them. 6 hats from them. I'm all ate up. But no, it's, you go in there, tell them what you want, what colors you want, and they'll work with you. Any style Richardson hat they can order for you, and then do your patch how you want it. The HomeFront SitRep patch is dead center on the hat. I like this one that's offset a little bit. But yeah, great husband and wife duo down there in Kentucky that are doing amazing work.
Yeah, they do laser engraving on a little bit of everything.
Wood,
knives,
metal.
wood, everything. They got 2 different lasers that they use. So go check out eliteengraving24.com. They are phenomenal. All right,
That's phenomenal.
Valor Coins and Pins.
Valor Coins and Pins, owned and operated by Brent and Brian Casey, the grandsons of the late Herschel Woody Williams, Medal of Honor recipient from World War II at the Battle of Iwo Jima. Anything that you need, challenge coin wise, metal wise, pins, poker chips, they can definitely take care of you on that end. They do not sell any individual coins, but they will help you design yours. If you have a design, just shoot it over to them, and it means great work that they're doing. Brent is an Army veteran, and a portion of the proceeds from every batch of coins order goes to the Herschel Woody Williams Foundation to help build Gold Star Memorial monuments across the nation.
Amen.
And then RDC Shoes, owned and operated by Marine and former law enforcement officer Darren Davis. Right now they have 2 different shoes, the Patriot and the Glory. The Glory shoe also benefits the Woody Williams Foundation, and the Patriot shoe, I think I have that backwards. The Patriot shoe is Woody Williams Foundation. The Glory shoe is Folds of Honor, which helps provide scholarships for kids of deceased service members or severely wounded service members. They are also a registered America 250 company, and so is Valor Coins and Pins.
Amen. Last but not least is HomeFrontSitRep.com. You can go check out HomeFront SitRep and see all these great veteran podcasters, veteran musicians, veteran authors, veteran comedians, everybody that we've had on the show. We are a little behind on updating it. We are just me and Gunny, and Gunny's not very computer savvy, and I'm super busy with my day job and
IR grunt.
Yeah, IR grunt. And then plus you can go on there and you can click on our merch, and which is homefrontsitrep.com/merch. There's a link to our hat. There's a link to all of our shirts, and you can see them there. Each shirt comes in multiple colors, multiple font colors as well, except for the
Marine It Down
and our red shirt. Those 2 shirts. The red shirt comes in red and black.
Yep.
Our Marine It Down is the heather gray, which is that right there. It's more of a blue. And I think it's the only 2 that don't come in multiple colors.
Yeah.
So go check out homefrontsitrep.com/merch and buy your shirt. Be someone stranger, buy your shirt today. Make sure you tag HomeFront SitRep in it. Take a picture, tag HomeFront SitRep in it if you don't mind. That would be, hey baby.
Hey, Miss Julie.
But it is that time of night, Gunny.
Before we go, I do have one announcement. Got to wish a very happy and special birthday to our friend from down under, Tim Thomas. Today is his birthday on Australian time, not our time, but Australian time.
Nice.
So, Tim, happy birthday. We love you. Hope to have you back on Tip of the Spear this month.
Yeah, we need to get him back on there. He's like, yeah, I'll look here in just 1 second, babe. But it is that time of night. Like we always say on HomeFront SitRep, stay safe out there.
We got your 6.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront SitRep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.